Good evening from New York. I'm Lawrence O'Donnell. Keith Olbermann has the night off. With the House of Representatives expected to announce tomorrow that its bill will match the Senate's in offering Americans the option of a government-run health care plan, the handful of moderate Democrats yet to say they will allow an up or down vote on the public option are under intense pressure tonight. Luckily for them, of course, they already have health insurance. Our fifth story on the countdown, the filibuster five, dancing as fast as they can. The leader of the pack, Senator Joe Lieberman, the only senator to say so far that he will join Republicans to deny Americans an up or down vote on the public option, elaborating today on his defection, saying essentially that if the public option squeezes any savings out of the healthcare system, healthcare companies will just turn around and raise rates on other people. And when asked about Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid's implication yesterday that Lieberman will come around once the bill goes to the floor and senators have a chance to add amendments or strip provisions from the bill, Lieberman identified specifically what he wants: no public option.
Well, just take this government-created, government-run health insurance company that will cost the taxpayers, premium payers, and the debt a lot of money. Take it off the table. We can come back in 3 or 4 years if the other reforms we adopt are not working, but I think they will. And so that's my position, and I'm sticking to it because I think it's best for our country and my constituents.
Lieberman is certainly the most definitive senator when it comes to breaking ranks. Four others, 4 Democrats, say they may join him. Senator Mary Landrieu of Louisiana refusing to tell Politico whether she would even vote for a routine motion to allow debate on health care reform to begin. Senator Blanche Lincoln, up for re-election in Arkansas, saying she will, quote, have tremendous troubles, end quote, supporting moving forward. Arkansas's junior senator, Mark Pryor, also not committing to his party, telling Politico he'll be, quote, talking to Lincoln through this process, end quote. And Nebraska Senator Ben Nelson, also non-committal, under pressure, not just from the left to support his party, but from multiple sources on the right, taking out ads in his home state, as well as those of other senators, calling health care reform a tax increase, calling on him to block it and honor his pledge not to raise taxes.
Thank Ben Nelson. Tell him to keep fighting for Nebraska taxpayers. Tell him it's time to keep the pledge.
Call your senators. Tell them to say no to a government-run health care bill.
Call your senators and ask them.
Haven't America's seniors sacrificed enough?
Don't pay for health care reform on the backs of our seniors.
Politico reports that Senator Evan Bayh's support for an up or down vote on the public option is now a possibility thanks to Reid's decision to reduce proposed new fees on makers of medical equipment. Bayh, who joined 2 Democrats and a Republican senator in opposing those excise taxes in a letter last month, represents Indiana, home of several makers of orthopedic implants and the cardiac device manufacturer Boston Scientific. Bayh also echoed the threat of Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell yesterday that even voting to let the Senate debate a health care plan with a public option in it is equivalent to supporting the entire bill itself. Bayh said he will look at those two things, quote, as one and the same. We asked Bayh's office today whether he has ever voted to allow debate on any other bill he has opposed, a common Senate practice. As of this evening, his office said it was still researching that question. Joining us tonight is Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown, who co-wrote the public option language for the Senate bill. Thanks for joining us tonight, Senator.
Lawrence, good to be back. Thank you.
Senator Lieberman is saying that the public option will cost taxpayers. How much will it cost?
Well, it won't cost taxpayers. The public option saves money because it does several things. It's simply an option. It gives people a choice. They can choose Aetna or Cigna, one of the insurance companies from Senator Lieberman's state, or they can choose the public option. And that will mean the insurance companies will no more gaming the system. It will make them more honest, and it will save money because it injects competition. There are 2 in Southwest Ohio, Lawrence, and Cincinnati area. 2 insurance companies have 85% of the market. Good old-fashioned competition. A public option there will cause them to compete better, will be better quality and lower prices. That's why the Congressional Budget Office scored the public option is $25 billion saved, not costing money for taxpayers.
Senator Lieberman seems to be saying that the public option could be so successful in attracting new customers that insurance companies will have to raise premiums on everyone else to make up for their big lost profits. How are you going to answer that one on the Senate floor?
Well, the first way you answer it is the last 6 years, insurance company profits have gone up 480%. They've quintupled, if that's the right word, in the last half a decade or so. Second, Senator Lieberman might be right. The CEO of Aetna is not going to make $24 million again next year. The top 10 big insurance companies, the largest in the country, their CEOs aren't going to average 8-figure, $10, $11, $12 million a year income. So there are going to be some costs wrung out of it, but that's what we want. We want the insurance companies, because of competition from the public option. Again, it's an option. We want them to bring their prices down. We want them to get more efficient. We don't want them having these bureaucrats in these insurance companies figuring out how to deny people coverage. We don't want those in the insurance industry. We want a much more leaner insurance industry where their profits are frankly more in line with most of the rest of the economy. The public option will help prices come down, and everybody's better off except the insurance industry. And frankly, I represent 11 million Ohioans. Most of them don't work for big insurance industry.
Now, Senator Lieberman has at least made it clear what he needs to support going forward on the bill, to support cloture in the Senate, and that is getting rid of the public option. Does this mean, without 60 votes in the Senate, that the Democrats are going to have to back down on the public option, give Lieberman what he wants to go forward?
No, I don't think we're going to have 2 or 3 members of the Senate and the Democratic side tell the other 55 of us, not to mention the country, which is overwhelmingly for the public option, doctors 70% for the public option. We're not going to have a few, one small tail wagging the dog here. I think what happens is this bill starts on the Senate floor. We get 60 votes to bring it to the floor. We begin the debate. The people against the public option get an even shot at taking it out of the bill. They will fail because we're going to get Chairman Harkin thinks 55 votes for the public option, something around that number. They had their chance. I think in the end, I don't think that my Senate colleagues want to be on the wrong side of history. I don't think on a procedural vote they're going to vote to kill the top priority of the President of the United States. I don't think they're going to vote to kill the most important domestic initiative of their political careers on a procedural vote. I don't think they want to be on the wrong side of history, Lawrence.
Now, we saw that Senator Nelson is under pressure on the tax side of the bill. Do you think that Democrats in the Senate can support the Baucus tax on union health care plans, even over the objections of labor unions that have supported Democratic candidates so strongly in the past?
I don't want to see us taxing working families, even working families plans that are pretty, that are generous. These are, understand, in union households, they negotiated these health care plans. They gave up wages so they could have a better pension. They gave up wages so they could have decent health care. And taxing these plans is not really the fair deal here. But there are other ways to do it. We're not going to follow the Baucus bill down the line. We're going to have more, frankly, of the bill that we wrote in the Health, Education, Labor, Pension Committee on the public option, on the Class Act, on some more of the components of this bill that I think serve the middle class much better, frankly, than the Finance Committee bill does.
Just quickly, Senator, how would you raise the $200 billion that the Baucus bill raises through that tax on health care plans?
I think the best way is some kind of a 1 or 2% tax on people making over $300,000 or $400,000. Their tax rate will still be lower than it was before George Bush did his tax cuts for the rich. So we can raise significant amount of money with the 1 or 2 or 3% add-on tax for people making over $400,000, $500,000, $1 million a year. Produce the revenue, have a much fairer plan that really does work for the middle class. Get people in my state of Ohio, Congressman Claiborne, state of South Carolina, get them in a much better situation. Those that don't have insurance, helping them, and those that already have insurance, an insurance policy that works better for them.
Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio, thank you very much for joining us tonight.